Hello everyone, I am Palpatine001 aka the Senate, and we are back with City Skylines 2 in the City Stitching Series 2.1. In 2.0, and I'm not going to release the simulator yet for a reason, and you might be seeing a whole lot of worker tabs. We'll cut into that reason in a minute, which will be part of 2.1 today. But in 2.0 we did Sheffield Square, which is basically a transit orientated development focusing around basically the subway station, there, which I'm going to have to do in a minute because we're going to open up this one as well, but it requires me to redo the subway lines. At the same time, we also did Solarian Shores, which I'm going to probably look at just updating a little bit just to get like the beach is looking a little bit better because of the way the topography is, which is a bit, plunges off a cliff. So it makes beach development a little bit more interesting. But yeah, and then off screen what I did also was finally link the subway missing piece here that links up this side of the western side of the city to the eastern side of the city. So the subway now goes all the way from Cape Solaria Point to Cape Solaria Island. So we have one cross connection this way, and then we have the other cross connection that goes north to south, which I'm going to fix up in a minute. Now you're going to say that is a lot of lack of labour. Yup. We've got 54,000 homeless again, and we also have how the heck did that happen, and how did I also achieve a budget surplus on the way out after having that in the red for so long? Well folks, let's cover into why we're covering 2.1 today with budget surpluses and funky, and I mean funky, urban dynamics. The long story short is, and I'm in the mod now, is that we have we have put in two new mods. Realistic workers in houses and smart transportation. What the realistic one does is that it does its best attempt to making... Let me go drop into an office tower. Let me find an office tower. This office tower in vanilla only had 120 employees for what I believe is a 60, if not 70 story tower. It's now showing properly what it should be holding. The catch is now that the game has to do a serious thing of catch up, and with the homeless problem also being rejigged again, it's a very slow process at the moment. But what the mod does, as we go down, so as you can see, industry, just might cut that back a bit. Commercial, I am going to cut this back a bit. And keep tourism the way it is. Residential, this keeps coming up. 3-story homes are technically only 110 square meters without a garage. And city, partially, I thought I had disabled it, although it's still a bit funky. But basically what it has done is combined with realistic trips is, we've I'm going to have a play around with this in a minute. So basically what I've done, combined with that and realistic parking, technically this is actually having parking minimums on. I should somewhat have it off. But combined with these two, you've now got the real-time mod from CS1, which is just basically, I've done this before in CS1, when real-time was turned on and updated, the game lags for a while, so I just have to put up with it for a little bit, given the size of the city it is, at 247,000. That dropped from 285, but it's now at about 247,000, and we will get it will sort itself out. It's just having to do a lot of calculations, and just to stop the rent situation going with the upgrades, yeah, we've got some very high discounts going at the moment, but I will readjust those in due time. So we have that mod on, and I'm just now going to might actually help along a bit. If I find some commercial, 44, that's fine because that's a district HQ. Should go back to the other big one. Let's have a look. Okay, the mod, it doesn't update in real time, so I might just jump back out and jump back into alert, and that still hasn't adjusted itself either. We'll let the simulator rip anyway. And it's going to be a bit gluggy because we've got the residential. And see, we're going to have this problem for a while. So basically, also because it's recalculated now, we've actually got proper sets of residents and the residents and workers and that. It has reset the budget a little bit, so we are now in full budget surplus, which is like, yay, everything is working well. I do have subsidies on, yeah, mainly for commercial, some industrial, and production for the most part we are surplusing apart from oil. That's because of lack of labour, and I am sure this is not balanced because this is always a pain in the butt to get under control. Either that or people just really love their fast food and fast fashion. Take your pick. Also, just off screen, I did, so here we go again, added some new bus lines in that, so yeah, it's been a busy time. Now, you might have seen some of the other creators talk about, there's no rocket there at the moment, so just lift it off. Yep, so, yeah, a little bit. Talk about their trip to Finland and what's coming up. I'm not going to talk about it. Needless to say, Colossal Order technically would have broken consumer guarantee and fair trading rules here in New Zealand by promising a product that is not up to scratch, and continuous delays. I now have to wait till Q4 for urban promenades and the regionals pack. So that is now 1.25 years. No, 1 year after it was meant to have come out. So as I said, it would definitely break our consumer laws. Looks like this is beginning to, we're starting to rebalance out. Yep. Which is a good thing. So I'm going to tweak a little bit. I don't need the recycling center. Yeah, we're starting to balance out. This is good. So this is an older city, so I remember with real time, Rush Hour as it was called before that, it used to play havoc with the dynamics. After that, it settled down, so we're just waiting for the game to continue to settle down. So I'm going to do a little bit more tweaking. Is it realistic? Every city is different, and as a real life planner, I could tell you this. Before I do that, so we'll keep it there. I just need to check because part of it is disabled, part of it is not. Okay, yeah, so that's fine. So I'll leave the city services alone for the most part. Yeah, it's starting to balance itself out. So let's do a little bit more tweaking. Nuclear power plant doesn't. That much. Parks have already disabled. They should already be disabled. You don't really listen. If you're running automated systems, you don't really need this much. So that's just city services. Okay. Let's just run the simulator a bit harder and see what we've done. An airport can actually run that high. Ironically, so don't put your luck off. Ports, that should balance. Power plant, yep, that's fine. They said there was a problem with the water. Technically, that would be true of the water plant. Yeah, see, she's calming down now. Industry has definitely calmed down. And the offices are also calming down too. So, a little bit more yeah, the jobs are backfilling now. So, a little bit more tweaking. And I say we'll hit it right for this city. When I do the next city, I've got the maps lined. Ooh, 34 degrees. That's a scorcher. When I do the next city, I will adjust again. Every city is different. Their planning codes are different. So, yeah, that they backfill. That's the smallest ones now. Needing to backfill. Let's pop over to. Yeah, see, she's slowly backfilling now. Residents, I'm just going to adjust a little bit more. One more time. These big ones are always a pain in the ass. Postal, I've still got to adjust. And looks like small commercial I need to adjust to. Yeah, that's still too big for what they are. Don't worry, we'll be doing some transit stuff too. Kicking around, so that's looking better. Yeah, still a little bit more to do. Let's keep working at it. Office. Go to 35. I think, looking at that big office tower, I think we're going to max out with that shortly. So I don't want to do. Okay, so what you're basically seeing, rather interestingly in this video, it's going to get called Budget Surplus and Funky Urban Dynamics, aka Welcome to Real Life Planning. That's residential. Wrong one. I need that one. Oh, might take a little bit to kick in. Sorry, that needs to be off pause. Oh, these two have maxed out, so we'll get a new tower along here shortly. So commercial, I think commercial's now our primary. Commercial is now our primary problem. It's still a little bit too high on commercial. Okay. Industry, I'm going to increase to 130. And commercial. $65, 100 on the supers, and a little bit higher on the restaurants. Residential, I am going to drop to 100, which is a 3-story without a garage. And row homes can stay the same. All right. Let's let this kick over, and yep, it's Yeah, they're going to balance themselves out. It's just going to take the simulator a very long time to put this through. So, welcome to Playing Around Planning. So with planning and the building side of it, you're playing around with minimum parking. You're playing around with floor spaces, workers, how many people per this, that, and the other. So, all comes to play. It's just that it's usually behind the scenes, and I just made it more realistic. Okay, we'll let that run through. It's going to backfill it. Through, and that is perfectly fine. So, yeah, that's basically planning behind the scenes. So I'm going to go back into now. If anything, I'm actually going to probably restart the game just to allow it. Realistic trips is all fine. Yeah, that allows for the night economy. Ooh, that's a bit. Let's run that up. Eight-hour day, part-time, leisure, number of holidays 11, 22 vacation, yep. Yeah, it's all about right. Yep. School. Yes, yes. Yeah, who's working on Sunday? Yeah, so that's all fine on that side. So away we go again. Oh yes, that's what I was going to do. Be right back, everyone, as I just do a very quick restart. And we're back. Just had to, yeah, the settings are held and away we go. So this should now allow just to give the city, I think some parts of it are bugged. So, yeah, things are starting to calm down. Oh, hello, hello, hello. And now it's a case of, have I disabled the schools? Yes, because I've disabled them. So we're back to this chestnut again because we have disabled. Yeah, we've shaved off a lot, which is in a way a good thing because it was a bit. Yeah, that's a bit better. So that means I've just got to check the civic services, but we're basically allowing a, yeah, stabilization. Okay, which means now I've got to so the second part of 2.1, so 2.1.1 is we've now got to go through and start checking all this. I might have actually overcooked parts of it, or I just need to go and really check things out properly because they're having a major as sock. But things like this are real easy to deal with, like schooling that's fine. I just put in another metro class Another Metro class school somewhere. That's an easy one to deal with. So it's part of the review. Let's just go and do it. It looks like health I'm going to have to check out, because it's flared back up. I say we're overrunning probably some of our smaller stuff, which is always going to be the case. So is this a case of wrong one? Probably just need to go and check some stuff out to see what is exactly going on, and just a case of let's just get it fixed. Of course, it's still got to be a bit clunky at the moment, for the sheer fact of what we're trying to do. So I've just got to, so it's doing some massive calculations in the game at the moment, so it is going to be a bit jerky. I just have to turn a certain feature down and we should be okay. Okay, so they said healthcare was a bit stuck. Is that overall? No, it's available, so it might just be resetting a lot of things again. In fact, I think the game's doing a huge big surge. Oh yeah, everything's catching back up, and we're losing it. So what? Not losing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop probably talking for the moment. No, the healthcare one, so that was just a bit of a jump in the system. Yeah, everything's calming back down, which is good to see now. I'm just going to check the oil refinery. Those are huge, and the signature buildings were always problematic. Oh, these car accidents are happening again. Fire helicopter. Yep. We do have fire departments here, don't we? Yeah, we do. So I see the CS1 bug with this has continued over. Oh, look at that. Whoa, this is really resurging. We're basically basically re-hitting to back where we should be. And yeah, it's going to be clunky while it's doing these huge big upgrades. This is going to be a factor. Where's the nearest road maintenance depot? Right there. Yeah, he's on his way. I can see that in the stats. Okay. Well, I'm glad we've sorted most of this out, and we've sorted most of the job problem out. The commercial office. It's both, because they were never set. They were never set properly in the first place with the stats. So they're always going to take ages, but that's fine. Because to be honest, I shouldn't need this much commercial office as I've actually laid out in the city. So this is always going to take a moment to backfill, and we just have to lug it until everything catches up, which the game is desperately trying to do. And it's actually, for the lack of anything else, the game's actually doing a damn fine job in doing it, given any limitations. Yeah, this is all much better in the stats department. Yeah, much better. I might have those stats still a little bit on the low side. No, they're about right. Yeah, we're catching up very nicely, about halfway there. So it's probably filling in all the residential zoning that's available at the moment. Yep. And which means I guarantee that's because there's nobody home. Guarantee my highways are absolutely poked. Yep. Okay, so for some reason they like doing this. No matter how many times I try and fix this, they still keep doing it. Oh well, I suppose it's the consequences of Sims trying to move in. Wait, if we might actually catch that one. He's going to downtown, so we've got, I think everyone's moving back in. Well, back in. It's going to be jerky as anything. So you've also noticed finally budget surplus, because the businesses and office, especially the office towers, are now manned, because they're having 124 peak workers in a huge office tower. No wonder why we're making losses. It's now rigged properly, so we're actually getting finally getting budget surpluses, which is like, now yes, the surplus costs have been reduced because Paradox cost order set it too high anyway, but as the city continues to go and fill in what we've got, I'll reduce it back down to what it should be at, 50% where it should be. And tile upkeep is disabled because there should be no upkeep outside of, say, your roads and rail, unless you were planning to keep national parks in that, which was sure, but that's not a dynamic of the game. So what is coming up next? Well, we'll do the review now, because I've got another mod to play known as the deal with transport simulation a little bit better, which basically fluxes the demand for the supply of my public transport. So if there's high demand, the price will go up, and more public transport units go out. And if demand falls away, the prices drop, and so on, to try and balance it out a bit. So of course you're going to get more on the. You still get your all-day frequencies. Don't get me wrong, but in the peak we might throw in a little bit more, and at night we might take a little bit less, given we do have a good taxi service running around as well. One thing I also meant to catch is the rocket launch tour in the day. I've got the night one, but not the day one. You can see the tower there marking up the city centre. You see the population's heading back up to the 282 mark, which I had before putting in the new mod. So it looks like we've been finally able to rebalance things properly. All comes down to tweaking your planning laws, your building laws, and your park. What your city, ideally your city likes to function daytime and nighttime. At the same time, I just saw a Steam achievement come up saying that at least 20% of my city has a university education. Hey! Of course, everything's not perfect in the game, like the clipping here, but you live with it. And we're just coming into the downtown station now. Once we go through this tunnel. Now coming into the downtown station. Okay, so that concludes writing the trend. As you can see, we will have, there it is there, and that will go back out shortly. And we've got another train coming here to help pick up the demand. This is because we have the smart transportation, which is currently open, which basically adjusts the supply and demand of the transport units and the pricing to encourage people onto public transport, also to stop overcrowding as well. Although technically, if overcrowding starts to happen, it's probably because I need to step up services or infrastructure. But in the meantime, it basically just allows it to happen as a transport department in the city wouldn't do internally, using what they've got, until it comes to such a point where I needed to start doing big capital expenditure again. And of course, this is going to completely muck up everything at the moment. Everything is just going to be a bit of a mess until we get it sorted out. Now, the good news is our homelessness continuously drop as we readjust the population. We're filling out all our residential and that, so they're all moving in. And our job problem with the industry is all but gone. Well, it actually has gone. And to the point of something's not right. No, the employees are all there. Oh, yeah, they don't have warehouses don't have employees. I should know that. Yeah, we've quietened the industry back down. So it is working fine. Some of them are going to take a while to lag through, but that's perfectly fine. So with commercial, it will back through eventually, once we get all the new residents in place, because we did drop from 282 to 228, so we're still catching up a lot. Now, be right back while I just do some quick fixes. Okay, so there's two major areas that are going to need upgrades, and so it's going to be interesting to do some urban renewal. One will be in here. It's just because we can't pedestrian control across these access ways is a pain. Let them all go, and I think the subways are honestly bugged. And the other one we have to do is downtown, because I need to file a bug report with colossal order on the fact that the buses enter that way and come out this way, which causes the loop problem. While I need to probably start upgrading the downtown to start accepting more trams in it, although it's okay at the moment, but it certainly has its moments, as you can see here. Yes, I'll need to report the subway element as well. No rockets. Should keep an eye on the rockets, see if we can get a daytime launch out of that. If not, I'll just turn the nighttime off and do one anyway. See, these are slowly disappearing as we get our residents back one by one. Probably should just stay near the rocket, just get ready for it to come along. Yeah, it's looking a bit better, but still quite a lot to do. So basically, we have 2.7.1. It's just basically just doing a quick review on where things might be held up, and I suppose if we go through the charts, we'd work out a few. But we have returned to budget surplus. In fact, a good budget surplus. We're about 10,000 away from recovering from the 282 to 228 drop off. In 2.0, we did do Solarian Shores and Sheffield Square. And with two new mods, we have had some basically return to the real-time mod, and it allowed for some actual real realism in the game. So if we go back through the 3 mods that make this happen, or the 4 mods that make this happen, we have realistic working and home. So you can see it's all been set out. So this is basically, this would be your planning laws. So your residential, your commercial, your industry, office, city services, schools, and other. So yeah, our planning laws are controlled through here. Through here is basically how I would see the city work. So a little bit transport, a little bit of spatial planning, because actually more so spatial planning, so spatial form influencing behavior, behavior influencing spatial form. Indirect, well, through here. This also allows to set how you want your geography of your city as well, because as you see, everyone is different. Parking, again, transport and planning laws, which I might have a play around again. And then finally, with smart transportation in that, again, this is playing around with your public transport dynamics. So your transport authority would work to control the supply and demand through moving ticket prices and vehicle demand around to the routes. So it allows us to operate being dynamic services there. If those services then get suddenly overwhelmed and everything is maxing out, that's when I would start doing the capex and start doing the big investments. Like for example, finally, you won't be. You might be able to. Finally connecting the subway line across, so we now have 2 Transmetro services, one from east to west from Cape Solarian Shore up to Cape Solarian Island, so cuts across through here, and then we have the other one that goes from the Port District out to, basically does a loop, so basically Brightwater, Karaka back through. So we're going to just have to let the simulation continue on through probably the rest of the week, just to allow it to catch up, which is going to slow down the city stitching series a bit. But when we get to 3.0, the next big one will be basically connecting up the city centre with Solarian Springs. Sorry, no, 3.0 is the big one. Connecting up the city centre to Manukau, so connecting east versus west by building out Solarian Woods. Transport's ready to go. Now I just have to do the rest. At the same time, we should be doing some detailing as well, because we have got lots of opportunities to do detailing, given that we now have all the props available. But me just being particularly not interested in doing it. So for example, I've used the macro stuff to start, but certainly could use the props in that, for example. Here we go. To say, put in a fountain right there. Or, yeah. So plenty to do. So I could actually even start in parallel a city detailing station. Oh, look at that, even food stalls. As I said, I could actually have an absolute wonderful time spending hours and hours and hours doing detailing, because there's so many places in the city that we can do this stuff. It's yeah, detailer's paradise. But we'll get to that one step at a time. I actually have done a very small example with some detailing. See, I could probably do a little bit more. And that was just, where is it? Using the passage parks, putting a footpath per, and then just putting through some streetlights and that. But I can certainly do more detailing in here, and I am wanting to get a daytime rocket launch if it's going to allow me. Yes, we are going to get one. So I'm going to tail this video off, and there we go. She's just going to get ready for liftoff. Let's get a daytime rocket launch, as seen we've already got a night one. I'm Palpatine 001, aka the Senate, and we'll let Gattaca 4 get underway.